Hey, what's going on, my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and today I'm going to share with you a 2020 Ascension energy update for the entire year. This is an extremely promising year. It's going to be extremely different than the past several years in a very ideal and much welcomed sort of way. What I wrote down here as a brief summary is that we are going to be building a beautiful life. You can now, from this point forward, start creating your life from presence, from authenticity, a greater awareness and clarity of who you are and what you want. So therefore, what you create in your life will be inspired, it'll be supported and built upon, most importantly, a very solid foundation. I know a lot of you, myself included, have experienced a ridiculous amount of breakdown in our life. Things that are no longer working, breaking down. Now, when this happens initially, we think they're things we need, like relationships, careers, living situation. And when these things start to kind of go haywire, it's extremely stressful and it can be overwhelming when many things are happening at once. But all those things were built from a place of a lesser level of consciousness, destined eventually to break down because they're not really a perfect mirror of your actual potential that you have now reached and can now start building your life from. There doesn't have to be as much breakdown. You're going to start creating your life and integrating the lessons you've been learning for years on a solid foundation, and your life will now expand itself in a solid and almost like geometric and exponential, highly expansive and joyful sort of way. 2020, it's going to be off the chain, okay? So as I always do, I'm going to go ahead now and break this down into 5 more digestible and specific themes. Now, I will tell you, this video is not going to be a series of predictions. It's not something I personally do or even really resonate with. Okay, this is going to be a reading of the energy happening now. These are things that I believe your own experience will confirm. Number 1, I wrote down, this is a bold one, 5D consciousness. We are already, right now, we don't need to wait till the end of the year. Now we are starting to experience more of a 5th dimensional state of consciousness where what is happening in our reality, our actual physical experience, is a mirror of what our inner world is experiencing. And this, for the longest time, has been pretty much a belief, right? Now it's becoming an experience. Now it's becoming more of an observation, more common sense. And this incredible awareness and shift in consciousness that's already taken place is going to lead to a dramatic changes in how we conduct ourselves, especially how we interact with other people. And you'll start to see the different things in your life as obvious correlations to things that you could, things that are coming from within, okay? And this is an amazing thing. Number 2, I call this the year of purification and restoration of harmony and peace and grace into our life. So what I'm saying, purification, you might find yourself naturally inspired to purify many elements of your life. This could happen. This could be in a practical sense. Like, for example, a few minutes ago, there's all these Christmas boxes in my office, and they were there for like 10 days or so because of Christmas. And I was like, I gotta like feng shui this office and clear the space. So I got the boxes out of there. So you might feel inspired to declutter your house, give away old clothes, reorganize your sock drawer, things of that nature. Now you'll want to do this for a reason beyond just the mere benefit of having the extra space. When you declutter your external life, you in a sense declutter your consciousness and you free up space not only in your life but within yourself, which will give way to new insights, new opportunities, new. We got to sometimes clear the air, clear the space. Now, what I spoke about is just one facet. You might find yourself doing this within your career, within your relationships, within other maybe more prevalent and like more important areas of your life, you might find yourself being able to easily detect areas where there's a heaviness or a dissonance. So there might be a lot of rearranging and cleaning out and decluttering. And that's going to really give you a nice, beautiful, clean slate to really start creating new stuff from that will be, again, just a beautiful representation of all the work you've done this entire time. You could really start to now manifest it in all areas of your life. Number 3. One of the ways that I want to highlight, based upon what I was just speaking about, is you might find yourself feeling it's necessary to unburden your heavy heart. In whatever way that means for you. Emotions like heavy guilt, heavy resentment, shame, like those kind of really toxic emotions have no place being in your life anymore. And you're going to be able to see, because the whole number 1 thing, the whole 5D consciousness, just to the extent these things are bringing you down and bringing you out of your alignment. And the energies right now will be very, very supportive of forgiveness and compassion with others and yourself, and willing liberation of your heart space. And decluttering these energies. And I'll give you an example of how this played out for me just recently. This is still a work in progress for me anyway. So the other day I was at the sauna, at the gym, my local gym, and I was talking to my good buddy, Aaron Dowdy. We go almost every day and we talk in the sauna, something we've been doing for a couple of years now. And randomly, this guy sitting a few seats beyond us, he turned to us and he shushed us. He shushed us and he said, "Can you please keep it down?" In kind of an aggressive and rude and startling manner. Now, I'm going to admit, internally I responded with, "How dare he?" I was angry. I was like, it pissed me off. It startled me and I was mad. Now I didn't respond in a rude way, but inside I was like wanting to kick this guy in the head, and we left the sauna and I went into the shower and I was like, thinking about all the things I should have said, how dare he, all that kind of stuff. And finally I got out of the shower and I got to where I was changing and I was like, man, I don't want to, this energy, these types of emotions are so clearly toxic and disorienting, and they're making me miserable. I know they're doing me no good. I'm not going to go and confront this guy. It's not a big deal. And I take full responsibility of attracting this into my life. There's a reason for it. I'm not sure exactly what that is. But regardless, I said a couple of those Ho'oponopono quotes. I love you, I'm sorry, thank you, please forgive me, or something along. I always get the order mixed up. But I did what I had to do right there on the spot to clear my heart of that type of resentment energy. Now that's just one way this can play out. Life might be showing you right now that you have a lot of guilt, you have a lot of shame, that you're really, really critical on yourself, or you still haven't forgiven certain key people in your life, like your parents or an ex or something. And now is a time where it's like you gotta let that stuff go. And it's not because I'm telling you to. You're gonna be revealing to yourself just how, again, disorienting that energy is, how much it's negatively weighing you down and impacting you and preventing you from being truly happy and living your dreams. You're gonna find yourself very naturally just wanting to forgive. Now imagine the implications of a lot of people around the world, a lot of the light workers, a lot of the people doing the work like you, starting to unburden their heavy heart and express forgiveness and forgiving their self and releasing these types of emotions. Imagine how bright you will shine. Imagine the example you will set. The planet is finally going to be bombarded with genuinely loving and compassionate people. Imagine that. And that begins with you. Number 4, you will find that it's an appropriate time, and now you finally have the time and the space to truly integrate the lessons you've learned over the last year, which I would imagine were many for most of you. And not only that, just the past several years of purging and releasing and experiencing these sort of unique spiritual soul type lessons. It felt like for a while there, it was just a lot coming at us, a lot of lessons, a lot of releasing, a lot of purging, a lot of rearranging. And it's like, wow, there'd be glimpses of realization where, wow, this is valuable. Oh, wow, I did need to learn that. Oh, wow, this is a game changer. But when there's so much blasting you at once, it's like, it can leave you feeling just like gassed, like, oh my goodness, my head's spinning. That's how I felt towards the end of the year. Just in the past 2 months, I went to Rhythmia. It's like an ayahuasca retreat center. 4 days of ayahuasca in a row. Very intense, total soul transformation. Weeks later, I went to the Tony Robbins event for 6 days. That was freaking off the chain and extremely life-changing. And I found myself after those 2 particular things feeling just almost worse than before I began. Just scattered, confused, very unintegrated, certainly not an embodiment of all those lessons that were real and did happen. They just weren't really sticking. But now is a time where finally the holidays are over, the energy is settling, you're decluttering your life, you're creating all this space, you're uncluttering your heavy heart, and now you're just like this. You're so ripe to finally enjoy, in a state of joy and taking your time, start really building your new life, integrating, making habits out of these lessons that you may have learned, and really over the course of the year becoming a true embodiment of the phenomenal transformation you've already experienced. This year is about really integrating and therefore really enjoying and experiencing the fruits, the bountiful harvest of fruits of your labor. Number 5, perhaps the most exciting and new and magical aspect of this year is, I wrote down this. In fact, this doesn't happen a lot. It was downloaded to me in my mind last night, and I knew I needed to talk about it. And I knew it's one of the most important things. I wrote down help from above. Now, most of us, at least most of you who watch my channel, are familiar with the idea of spirit guides and celestial assistance. It's going to become a lot more, I don't want to say in your face, but a lot more obvious, a lot more real, a lot more like you can truly rely upon your spirit guides to come in when you need it, okay? And this can play out, very differently for everybody. Not everyone's gonna have their spirit guide materialize before them and say, hi, my name's Joe and I'm here to help. It's not like that for the vast majority of people. You'll probably experience an increase in the rate and the degree of how mind-blowing it is of synchronicity, more synchronicity stacking on top of one another, more downloads, more insights, more million-dollar ideas popping into your mind, more of an attraction of just the right people and the right situations at the right timing for your forward progress. For me, the way it happens a lot is in the dream state. Last night, I had this whole experience where, and this has happened before, where every time, or most of the time when I would wake up with a real clear thought or idea or concept, fresh in my mind. And with that perfect time where I'd wake up and it would just be there. And what it was just certain things that are so deeply relevant and just perfect for me on my path. A real graceful, here you go. You've been searching and meditating and doing spiritual work for years, and you've been doing all this stuff, and guess what? You were off the whole time. Good job on your effort, but this is what you've been searching for. There it is. And you'd be having a lot of stuff like that. A lot of it's finally time to, you've earned the spiritual clarity. And these deep soul truths about yourself that very well may be handed to you on a silver platter. Not because you're lucky or the energies are shifting. No, because you've done so much work and you've raised your vibration so high where this is just how it works. But these gifts, these divine gifts bestowed upon you because as a result of your own effort are going to just give you that much more power, that much more alignment, that much more joy, that much more purpose, that much more passion, and that much better of a life where your life is going to start to be built from an incredible beautiful, high vibrational place of pure consciousness, pure divine soul alignment. And I want to highlight so much that this is something you have earned. This is something you deserve. This is a simple byproduct of what you've done, the work you've gone through, the purges you've endured, the hardships, the stress of all the different rearrangements of your life. All of this whirlwind of transformation, you have finally gotten to the center and now the eye of the storm. And the storm is finally passing, and all that's left is you standing there victorious, courageous, having cultivated all these amazing life attributes, having connected yourself with your divine source at a degree and a level of alignment that you never experienced before, and your life is going to start to be expressed and experienced from that vantage point. Hey, what up, my friend? I'm back. I have one more message for you. I felt inspired to share with you last minute. In fact, right now, I'm editing the video. I thought it was done, but I wanted to show off my cool glasses. No, just kidding. I'm going to invite all who are still watching to do something that I've learned is extremely important. Something this guy I follow named Brendan Bouchard, he calls it celebrating your victories. He says a lot of people, they have these triumphs, these moments of success, these transformations, but they don't take time to really celebrate them and feel them and allow them to integrate into their character and enrich their life from that point forward. I'm guilty of this. I think most people are. We're always off to the next thing. Life is fast-paced. I get it. But it's the beginning of 2020, and we're watching a video here looking ahead. But I invite you, and I'll do the same, to take a breath with me. Please take a breath with me. And for a moment, let's together look backwards over the past 5 years. I want you to look at where you were in your life 5 years ago, how you were feeling, what was going on, the level of consciousness you were at. And I want you to bring to mind anything that has happened between then and now that deserves, at the very least, a mini celebration. What is one victory that you can bring to the forefront of your conscious awareness right now and feel and have a little internal celebration? What have you done? How did it make you feel? How has it shaped your character and your life? How will that one victory benefit you in this coming year and in the coming decade? I want you to literally give yourself a pat on the back, not just for that one victory, but for the fact that you're still here right now, still standing, that you've been through so much. You've underwent a pace and a degree of spiritual transformation that is literally and truly unprecedented on this planet. And you're doing it. You've been doing it. Okay, and you deserve to have a completely amazing 2020 and beyond. You've earned it. You, as Joe Rogan says, are the hero of your own movie. And you've been through a lot of the challenges that every good movie has the protagonist go through. You've gone through a lot of that character development. Now we're nearing the end of the movie. And the end of the movie is when the character earns a better life situation and a happy ending, in essence. And it's going to be a happy ending to your movie, but only because you've gone through the movie. You've gone through the growth, and you've had a lot of success over this past year and a lot of transformation, and you deserve this.